We got time for a little bit more. We got time for a little bit more, don't we? Because this is what people really wanted to get into. Yes. They wanted to get back into Cracker Barrel because, man, I mean, this is the news story of the day. I mean, you know, I posted a little bit about this earlier this week because I thought, okay, we got the story of the week, the new thing we're supposed to talk about, the ping pong, watching the pong ball go back and forth. What do we care about? What do we care about? What do we care about? And the news cycle just cycles like this and gives you just new BS to care about. So I thought initially that the big news du jour topic for the Stoops was going to be, what was those two Muslim filth piles, the illegal immigrant scum that wrecked a tractor trailer across the median and killed some people. Killed 3 people, if I'm not mistaken. I thought that was going to be it. So these scumbags were like the buzz of the internet for about 4 days, and then they sort of went down. And then I assumed that it would be Hurricane Aaron because it was meant to be, oh, it's bigger than Texas. It's a Category 5 plus, striking fear to the hearts and minds of millions. That sort of thing, you know. But alas, I guess the next rad systems, they didn't want it to hit NC quite yet, so it pushed off to the coast. And hearts and prayers go out to the people in the Outer Banks. So even though the storm didn't really make landfall, if you watched anything of the news variety in NC, you'll see all these big houses with rivers of water flushing underneath them and huge homes being washed to the sea. So prayers essentially and importantly to those folks. But alas, the real story is the occult connections to Cracker Barrel. Oh, yeah. That's right. You know, it occurred to me, because I see this sort of idiotic stuff all the time, where, and I saw it even with the hurricane, I believe. Maybe I'm mistaken. They do this with everything now, the proverbial they. The people that are so desperate for conspiracy, of which there are many, but so desperate for conspiracy, they're doing the image matrixing thing. You know, I remember when I was a kid, what was it? It was In Search Of, and then there was Unsolved Mysteries. There was another one with Jack Palance, I believe. Oh my goodness, it's totally escaping me right now. But the Jack Palance one was pretty cool. But I believe this was an episode of Unsolved Mysteries where it was like a hospital door. And at this point, it was the 80s, so they actually still had real doors that were made of wood. I'm sure all the real furniture, wood, metal, and everything else has been removed from the hospitals because they were racist or toxic or somehow detrimental to a spotted owl somewhere in a remote colony of who gives a bleep. But back then, they actually had wooden doors. And I remember this episode because the wooden door was supposed to reveal the image of Jesus in the wooden door of the hospital. And it's the sort of same thing when you look at some clouds. It's the image matrixing. This is a normal phenomenon. We look at some clouds and, oh my goodness, it's a bunny. And your friend's like, what are you talking about? It's Evel Knievel like jumping over a walrus or something, you know, something insane. So your mind looks for patterns visually and through the auditory as well. So we can actually hear the same sort of thing. What was that? Did they say, I love Keebler Elves? Or is that just white noise? You know, like that sort of thing. So we do the same sort of thing. But I've noticed this particularly in the last couple of years where everyone is posting these bizarre mirrored images of everything. Doesn't matter what the bleep it is. I remember during the throes of the 9/11 false flag, everybody was folding their money and revealing that the Twin Towers were in the bills and all this stuff and the fire and the burning, all that sort of stuff. But lately, we've just been inundated with the hysteria of mirrored images. So just to stoke the flames of the occult-minded conspiracy theorists a bit more, I thought I'd go full bore and give you the real occulted history of Cracker Barrel. Ooh, ooh, ooh. See, if you mirror the image of the man that they removed, if you mirror the image, and you got 2 images here, Oh, yeah. There's 2 barrels now, just like the throne of Moloch, Baphomet. Yeah. And then if you mirror the images and then flip one upside down, you've got the Baphomet image again. It's Goat Man. You see? Look, it's Goat Man. He's got the horns. It's got the horns coming from the head. Yeah. He's sitting on his throne of blood. And he's even got the outstretched arm up and down, just like the old goat boy. Yeah, he's got his arms on one like this and one down here. And he's probably even doing the really cool Catholic, really occult hand symbol where he's doing the 2 fingers down thing, you know, the 2 fingers down like you see in all the Catholic artwork. Yeah, he's doing the 2 fingers down. Can we put that on the big one? Yeah, let's put it on the big one there. People need the full Monty of Goat Man. So he's doing the as above, so below. So really, the proverbial they, CEO DEI hire, Julie, she removed the Baphomet imagery, you see, because Julie is actually playing 660-degree chess. Julie is actually a freedom fighter. She's actually of Q, and she's on the inside working with JFK. I'm sorry, it's just too funny. Julie's actually working with RFK Jr., JFK's son, and probably Elvis, who's also still alive, as well as like a bevy of other dead celebrities that are actually still alive. So that's really what's going on. I don't know why my camera has decided to just randomly move, but it has. That's okay. Because that's cool. Because check this out. I can override the bull button and just turn it back to where it needs to be. There you go. Hey, I can override the stupid. I can pull that off. So that's what's really going on. Julie is not the deep state CEO, DEI hire of Cracker Barrel that she is portrayed in the mainstream legacy media. Nay. Julie is on the inside. She is part of Q and the 660-degree chess with RFK Jr., with JFK's son, who's also really alive. And what they're doing is they're infiltrating the Cracker Barrel satanic organization. They are removing the Baphomet imagery, and they are brightening up the inside. They're bringing the light into the restaurants of the Cracker Barrel, and they're going to stop the trafficking that's going on in the Cracker Barrel and the satanic worship, and that's really what's going on. So there you go, folks. That's the mystery here. If you look at the man here, again, if you do a mirror image, you see that he's got one hand down and one hand up. He's also got 4 arms, which is very reminiscent of some of the Indian deities. What's the one? Ganesh or something, I believe. Big Blue is what I used to call him. So he's also got some sort of symbol here on his overalls. I'm pretty sure that is a Jewish symbol, or the star of Satan right here. You just can't see it. You have to turn your head a little bit. And you'll see there's also iconography of triangles everywhere. We know what that means. So this is clearly a satanic image of Baphomet. As above, so below. So as above the barrels, so below the barrels. Those barrels are for child trafficking. Yep. Just like the McMartin preschool, that's what's going on in allegedly in different Cracker Barrel locations. So hats off to Julie for being a freedom fighter, for being a deep cover whistleblower, and for working with Q and President Trump, of course, to really expose the deep state occult iconography, symbolism, and trafficking going on at Cracker Barrel. So the bottom line is, people that are opposing this are Satanists. They are wrong. They are obviously trying to disrupt Trump and to dissuade people away from the light. That's all I've got to say about that. You can't do everything, but you can do something. Get out there, do your part, make a difference. I'll be seeing you sooner than later in the AnomicAge.
Thank you for listening to the AnomicAge, a JohnAge project. For past shows, further info, and to comment, go to AnomicAge.com. That's AnomicAge.com. Till next time, thank you for listening to the AnomicAge.